Okay, hi everybody, I'm back again with another video. This time it's the actual base game for the others. In this there are quite a few heroes. I think there's 6 heroes, and you've got 2 of the 7 deadly sins. If you look back on previous videos, if you haven't already seen them, I've done videos of the other 7 deadly sins box sets. So this is the missing 2 that actually come with the base game. So that's the box art. Let's turn it round so you can have a look at the contents, and if you wish you can pause it and read the backstory there. So let's crack this box open and see what comes inside. Okay, the first thing is the rulebook. Again, some really nice art on the rulebook. Open it up, take a look at what's inside, just a quick flick through. Here's all the contents. If you've seen Zombicide and games like that, the layout is pretty much the same. The only main difference with this one is there's no missions in the back of this book. You'll see those later. So I'll just quickly flicking through. I won't go into this in too much detail. Flip through a few more pages, just so you can see what the layout's like. And obviously on the back is a summary. It's quite a thickish rulebook. Next up we have tokens. Double-sided. So you've got 2 sheets of these, I believe. Then we have the scenarios. So this gives you the story and all that of what to do on the scenarios. So this is Haven's Last Stand, and on the back is the setup. So you've got 1, 2, the darkness within, Battleground of Souls. I'm just going to quickly go through these. So that's 3. Haven in Flames. 4. 5th one is The Beast We Become. Next one is Into the Breach. So you can pause these and have a quick look. And the final one is Rise of the Hell Club. Next up we've got some cards. So these are, I don't know, like event cards or something, I suppose, I don't know. This is the Hellfire group of people you've got to face. I don't know if it's different levels or something. I think these cards are specific for the Hellfire or the Hell Club or whatever they're called. So you've got those cards. Let's try it. We then have a smaller sized card deck. So you've got these here, which are, these are the cards for the one of the 7 deadly sins that are in it. This is the Pride. So if you look back on my previous videos, you'll see these. I believe there's 12 on each. Six, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Again, just pause these if you want to have a read. And the other one is Sloth. So we got, let's just sort the camera out, 12 of these as well. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's the cards for them. We now have upgrades, so these are obviously for your heroes. Not sure how you get them, having not played the game yet. It looks like weapons and armour. Pretty good artwork on them, I guess. Still all upgrades at the moment. Oh, sorry for this unprofessionalism, but then I ain't a professional, so. And these are Dark Past cards. I haven't got a clue what these do. When they're played, maybe they're these are cards that the bad guy gets to use. I'm not sure, but yeah, there's those. So I'll put a little pause in here while I gather myself together, and before I do, you get 2 sets of dice as well. So I'll put a little pause in here, get myself together, and we'll take a look at the tiles and the boards next. Okay, here's the first set of cards. This is the Apocalypse track. So obviously when he comes out, you have to do these in this order. And horrible things happen the further up you get. Here's the boards for the 2 of the 7 deadly sins that are in this. You've got Pride. Again, consisted of an abomination, a controller, and an avatar. And here is Sloth. We also have 3 of these cards. These are the Acolytes. I believe that's what they are. So they become corrupted. There are miniatures for this. You've got the Hobo, you've got the Doctor, and you've got the Nuns. Now move on to the boards themselves. I think there's 9 of these. They're only single-sided. They're a lot smaller than Zombicide, but it still gives you pretty good scope for how to play the game. So you got that one there. The artwork, not as good as I've seen from this company before, but you know, I think it's good enough for what the game is. Obviously, it's got different effects as well in the circles there, what happens on these boards. So they're not very big, so this one's not going to take up as much room as Zombicide does, or other games that have been released recently. I believe there are further tiles in some of the expansion boxes, but we'll see that later on when I do videos on those. Just 2 more tiles to show you, and then we'll move on to the good stuff, which is the miniatures. So yeah, there's the game tiles. So on the back it's just like a cityscape sort of thing. So I'll put a little pause in here. We'll take a look at the miniatures for the bad guys for the 7 Deadly Sins. Okay, we've got these little tokens, which I showed you a couple of boxes of those on previous videos. It's obviously your health, and I think this is corruption tokens. Well, not tokens, but plastic miniatures. So for the bad guys, we've got 2 trays of these. I think the first one we're going to take a look at as the corrupted people, the acolytes. So this is, I think, one of the nuns. Or no, it's a doctor. I think it's a doctor or nun, one of the 2. Got quite a few of these. Yeah, these are the doctors, corrupted doctors. Oh, that's actually, yeah, that's the hobo, because he's got 1 leg. So that's the hobo. This, I believe, is the nun. You get 2 each of those. You get 2 each of these guys. That's another hobo. Here's another of the nuns. And this another one of the hobos by the looks of it. I think it's various stages of, I'm not sure. I think these are all the same, have the same effect in the game. I was saying, not having played it, I couldn't tell you. And finally, for the first tray, it's definitely a vicar of some kind. So that's the first tray of minis. We'll now move on to the next tray. So these are 7 Deadly Sins. I'm not sure which is which. You've got 2 like that, 2 like this. I think this is Sloth. Trying to see which ones they are now. Let's get the cards out, it's a lot easier. Sloth and Pride, so these are Pride. I'm showing you first. And the third sculpt. Here's the controller for Pride. This looks like the controller for Sloth. What we got here? This is an Abomination for Sloth. And this is the Abomination, another Abomination for Sloth. And another Abomination for Sloth. Then we have this guy, which is the Avatar. This is the Avatar for Sloth. Then we have the Hellfire, or the Hell Club as it were, miniatures. One, this one, these are a bit like the characters from the Hellraiser movie series. I think they might be very, very loosely based on those. We have the twins. And finally, for this box of miniatures, the big brutes from the Hell Club. So there's one more bad miniature we haven't seen yet, and that is the Avatar for Pride. So I'll just put a pause in here and get him out of the box. So finally, for the bad guys, we have the Avatar for Sloth, and he is big. It'd be ideal for Zombicide actually. There's a Abomination, maybe a Tyrant, turn him into a Tyrant Abomination. So add him incorporate it into that game. But yeah, it's a nice looking miniature, nice and big. So I'll put a pause in here. When we come back, we'll take a look at the final set of miniatures, which are the heroes. Okay, as you see with a lot of games now, you get these coloured bases, so you can tell who is who when you're playing them on the board. So let's take at the final set of miniatures. So the first one up, the card up here, is Leah, or Lee, however you want to call her. And just get her miniature. Next up we have Morgana and her miniature. Then we have Thorley. Rocco is next. And I think this is his miniature. Yes, it is. Again, it's a bit hard to pick out the detail, but you'll see it when it's all painted up. Next up we have Brad. Just trying to find his mini. I think this is Brad. Yep, that's Brad. And we have Rose. And finally, a character that can change. We have Carl, and his miniature is here. And what Carl can do is he can change into his beast form, which is a werewolf. And here's the werewolf miniature. So there you go. There is the base game for the others. I've got about probably another 2 or 3 more videos to do on this, so stay tuned for that. Sorry it's a bit brief, but hopefully it gives you a good idea of what the game looks like. So until the next video, thanks for watching.